Frequently, in religious ceremonies across different religious practices, when we gather, it is called a call to worship. But what is it that we worship when we gather as Unitarian Universalists? Rather than adoration of a deity, we gather to practice reverence for all life. We gather weary and uplifted, despairing and hopeful, broken and yet still whole and fully loved. We make our time and space together holy with our attention and intentions, trusting that when we gather, our spirits will receive what they need. So let us gather now and bring our focus into this space, both physically and virtually, and light our chalice with these words. Sue Stock will light our flame as I bless you with an adaptation from Belle Hooks and Jess Reynolds. Queer, not as being about who you're having sex with, although that can be a dimension of it, but queer as being about the self that is at odds with everything around it and that has to invent and create and find a place to speak and to thrive and to live. Queering religion means to make religion alive and holy and present now. So let us light our chalice with this prayer. May we light our wicks from one another until we are all aflame, until we burn out every prejudice we carry in these bones. Here you are, holy as you are. Blessed be. And now please rise in body or spirit for our opening song, This Little Light of Mine. Sing it joyfully, sing it loud, let your lights shine.
Shine.
Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Urbana-Champaign. My name is Reverend Beth Monholland. My pronouns are she, hers, and I have the deep honor of serving this congregation as the lead minister, alongside our associate minister, Reverend Sally Fritchie, who is wearing the best shirt ever made today. Take a look at it later. I love it. We are a people of many ages, histories, genders, bodies, identities, and beliefs. And we are connected by our shared commitment to our mission, which is to build community, seek inspiration, promote justice, and find peace. Please look around at the color-coded lanyards of your neighbors and be aware and respectful of other people's needs and boundaries. We are a congregation of all ages, which means that we embrace the inevitable noises and little disruptions that kids can bring into a Sunday morning. But as always, people of any age, little or not, are welcome to grab a coloring pack, which is by the table outside the entryway, just in case you need to keep your hands busy. And if for any reason during the service you feel the need to stretch your legs, you want a little more room, you just want to run to the bathroom, you are welcome to go across the entryway to Fellowship Hall. The live stream of the service is actually being broadcast there and will be from this point forward, not just the audio, but the live stream itself. Everyone is invited to join us in Fellowship Hall immediately after the service for conversation and kinship. And while our REE program is on a short hiatus for the summer and kids are welcome to stay here in the sanctuary with us, our nursery is open for littles at 6 and under. And if you are a visitor today, and I know we have quite a few visitors with us, we bid you a special welcome. If you would like to stay connected with us, as we hope to stay connected with you, please complete a visitor's card. And if you're joining us via our live stream on YouTube, hello, welcome. We are so happy that you are also here. Now, I want to bid you all to welcome each other this morning. Just turn to a neighbor or write in the YouTube chat and say hello. I'll ring our chime to begin and end our time of communal welcome. Treating it like a xylophone. Thank you all for those warm greetings. Remember, you can keep those conversations flowing after the service during the fellowship hour. While we were doing greetings, I was sharing with Reverend Sally this little pin that I know none of you can see. Not to fear, I shall read it for you. It says, "There is nothing queer about loving another human being." And I bought this little pin at a feminist bookstore. Some of you may know it if you've ever been to Madison, Wisconsin. It's called A Room of One's Own. I bought this little pin there in 1994, y'all. I wore it on my jacket for years, and now, along with a whole lot of other such mementos of my early 20s, it hangs in my office. There is nothing queer about loving another human being. That language was so important 30 years ago because queer was a slur. You are strange, you are different, you do not belong. I'm happy to say that in the 30 years since I bought this, folks have reclaimed the word queer. And there are people who proudly and loudly call themselves and their communities queer, glad to be part of the queer community, that umbrella that defines and defies definition of our sexualities, our genders, our identities. Reclaiming the word queer is an act of resistance, and resistance is at the heart of pride. Reclaiming queer is an acknowledgement of the way that things are, all of those norms that were created and established to keep people out, to disappear us, to make us know we should not live. Reclaiming queer is a way of saying we are here. We have always been here, and we are loved, and we are holy. And there are theologians and practitioners of religions who are not always theologians, who are queering religion in vital and life-giving ways. I think of our own tradition, particularly our Universalist ancestors, who, with the very notion that we are born in original blessing, that we are all beloved universally, beloved of a divine force that will never separate us. That was a queer notion, my dear ones. The rejection of a hell to which we will be sent to suffer for all eternity, the rejection of that by our Universalist ancestors was a queer idea. They were seen as heretical and strange, which is, of course, what queer means. But they embraced their own strangeness, embraced a theology that said, no, if God does exist, then surely God is love. And surely if we are made in that loving God-like image, then we, all of us in our imperfect, ever-changing human bodies are also love. And so why we as humans throughout time may have indeed codified notions of God and a wicked humanity and created hierarchies of people and systems, it is queering our religion that breaks apart those hierarchies and those harmful systems. Queering our religion means that we unlearn all of those stories, we unlearn those ideas, we query where those ideas may have come from, and we demand more. We demand more than those self-limiting, self-hating, life-destroying ideas. Belle Hooks named it so beautifully when she said that queer is about creating ways to thrive and to live. And while it is true that we have inherited traditions that harm, we have also inherited traditions that heal. And when we queer our religion, we hold ourselves accountable for the harm and embrace the healing. And my dear ones, healing is about being whole. So I think about this little button about there is nothing queer about loving another human being. And while I wore it proudly for many, many years, in reclaiming queerness, I have also started to reframe this idea, because in these times, in these systems where there are hundreds of bills targeting LGBTQ folks, where there are bombs dropping daily on places around the globe, where the divisiveness in this own nation seems wider and deeper than we have known in our lifetimes, my beloveds, actually there is nothing more queer than loving other people. Despite our differences and what the world tells us, it is indeed queer to love ourselves and to love each other in our beautiful, imperfect wholeness. And when we come together in religious and spiritual communities, queering our practices, we make our communities more whole. Each time we widen our circles, each time that we make space for someone who has been left out, we are queering our religion, and that is the work that we are called to do. We are called to queer our religion by saying, in the words of the Rumi poem that we have turned into a song in our hymnals, come, come, whoever you are. Wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving, ours is no caravan of despair. Come, yet again come. Ours is no caravan of despair. Come, yet again come. Rumi said in the original poem that even when we break our vows 1,000 times, we will still make space for those who want to come. to join us on this caravan, on this journey to wholeness and love, on this journey to the world we can and will create together. So I invite us all to sing, "Come, come, whoever you are." The words will be here. You'll find it in the hymnal on 188. As a prayer for queering our religion, we will sing this. Rise and embody your spirits. Last month, just over a month ago actually, we held our most recent Pathways to Membership class, and 13 people accepted our invitation to come and join this caravan of joy. The class was led ably, as it always is, by Reverend Sally and Sue Stock, one of our amazing congregational leaders, and I want to invite them forward now to formally lead us in welcoming our newest members.
Good morning, everyone. So earlier this spring, we acknowledged more than 40 people who had joined us between January 23 and February 24. As Reverend Beth just shared, we had 13 more people sign our membership book for this last Pathway to Membership class held in May. And so we're thrilled to welcome them into our midst and wanted to mark this occasion today. We will say their names. If they are here today, we invite them to come forward to the front to receive a gift and also to receive our communal blessing. So we'll start with Connie Cochran, Michael Cochran, Dust, Osgwan, Autumn Haskins, Roxy Howard, Sean Hughes, Neil Brzezinski, Ann Brzezinski, Jessica Shorts, Alice Smith, Kim Smith, Mabruka Yazidi.
With your order of service this morning, you should have all received this yellow text, a communal blessing. So everyone here who is already a voting member of this congregation, which is the new category these folks have just decided to join, you're invited to join us in saying aloud the bolded words to welcome our newest members. That goes out to anyone watching at home as well. We, the members of the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Urbana-Champaign, welcome you into our community with open hearts. We offer to you not just welcome, but belonging. May you find with us a place of both comfort and challenge, a place where your spirit can both rest and grow, a place where you are known and can transform more fully into who you wish to be. We promise to enter into covenant with you and to commit collectively to living our mission. Oh, you guys are gonna have words too, haha, we tricked you. Okay. Our newest members, I invite you to read together your words of affirmation, if you so choose. We, the newest members of the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Urbana-Champaign, thank you for this welcome. We thank you for creating a community that our spirits can now call home, for creating work that calls us to deeper justice and love, for creating connections that make space for our differences. We affirm our commitment to the mission of this church and to enter into covenant with you. And now everyone together, new members and everyone here, Together, we will build community, seek inspiration, promote justice, and find peace. Thank you. Thank you all so much. Thank you to everyone. New members, longtime members, visitors, everyone who's contributing to the beauty of what we're building together. So I release you back to your seats, and we're going to sing one more time, Come, Come, Whoever You Are.
Thank you. Thank you all. Each week, we practice spiritual generosity by making space for the joys and sorrows we carry with us whenever we gather. We begin this practice with an embodied ritual of singing a blessing song. Today, I'm going to light a candle to represent our joys and a candle to represent our sorrows while we sing that song. And I invite each of you, if there's a joy or sorrow you'd like shared aloud, to fill out a joy and sorrow card. You'll find them in the pews, and our ushers also have them. And at the end of our singing, I'll gather those cards and we'll share aloud what folks need to have shared and held in community this morning. We trust that the act of sharing lightens our burdens and increases our joys, even if for just this hour. And so let us sing. Twice more. This morning, we make space for these sorrows. From Jenny Hunt and Christy Mercer. Saturday morning, we had to say goodbye to our remaining canine fur baby as he crossed the Rainbow Bridge to go run free with his old buddy. Even with our quiet stealth cat still with us, there is a huge hole in the house this morning. Missing my son David on his first celestial Father's Day. From Gail Cohen. Some joys this morning from Beth Simpson. We are happy this week to be celebrating Juneteenth, an anniversary of freedom, or at least a move towards it here in America. Christine Call shares this joy that her husband, Michael, joined her in retirement 2 weeks ago. Many adventures await them. Jody Hanger shares that she is holding concern. Jody, I'm not sure if it's joy or sorrow, a little bit tinged of both, for beloved aunts on both sides of our family facing challenges and big life changes. These independent women are facing the loss of that. Another sorrow from Kelly Skinner, a sorrow that my mother-in-law's longtime friend, Judy Chestnut, died this week. Sorry, I have to take glasses off sometimes. She was a bright light and always present to support our kids and family. She is at peace now, sending love to her husband and daughters. Good thoughts and energies for best outcomes for my upcoming events, home and solar and national board exams. That is a lot going on. Is it KG Krova? Am I saying that right? Jocelyn Karsk also shares a sorrow at the passing of her grandma Vernell. Great joy for having her in our lives for 100 years. Some joys from folks who are joining us virtually. From Jerry Carden, it's a joy to experience Pride Month service from our happy place looking out over Lake Michigan. It's wonderful to have grown our queer representation from the time Tim and I joined in the mid-90s. An anonymous sorrow, learning to break generational curses. Learning to give myself the care all humans are inherently deserving of, and it's so hard. For those who are dealing with this also, please know I see you and we are not alone. And two joys from Amita and Marilyn. Amita had successful surgery to repair her Achilles tendon 2 weeks ago, and we are so grateful for all the support and care we have received. It makes the very long recovery so much more manageable. Thank you. And then another joy, tomorrow, June 17th, we'll celebrate the anniversary of our 2006 commitment ceremony in this sanctuary. We were embraced long before our union had legal recognition, and we'll celebrate 25 years together. And this from Sam, and I swear I didn't save it for last on purpose. Joy for you ministers who are free and willing to speak on matters that might cost other religious leaders their pulpits. I am also so thankful to be in a tradition that makes space for that. And then I would like to just also lift up in this joys and sorrows all of the complicated feelings that a Father's Day brings. For whatever you were holding and however you were parented, I hope that you can find comfort. I hope that there is some joy that you can latch onto, and if all you have on this Father's Day is grief and sorrow, know that you are held in love in this community. Thank you all for sharing, for being vulnerable and letting us hold space for each other. I'd like to invite us just into a moment of silence as we hold space for all that we have spoken aloud and all that we each still carry in our hearts. Thank you. Thank you all. We come together as a community. We gather for spiritual generosity and also for nourishment and for social connections. And there are so many opportunities to connect within and beyond this congregation. I invite you to subscribe to and read our e-news to stay up to date on all the activities offered through our REE, Congregational Life, and Social Action Councils. And this morning, I want to share just a few things with you. Some of you may be aware that we were sadly targeted by a scam this past week. Many churches, not just UUs, but many, many churches in the region were targeted, once again, by people pretending to be a minister and scamming people out of money for gift cards. And I am so sorry for everyone who received texts, emails, all the ways that folks were pretending to be me and Sally this week. And I just want to say, we and this congregation will never send you an email or a text asking you to give us a gift card. Well, congregationally, we may say, please give us money. That will be in an official capacity from generosity. So I just want to make folks aware, be diligent, and if you ever have a concern and are like, I don't know if this is Reverend Beth or Reverend Sally, just reach out and ask us. And for those who did reach out and let us know, because we weren't getting them, thank you. We will do our best always to keep each other safe in community, and alerting each other to these kinds of things in the digital world is one way we will do that. On happier news, the Unitarian Universalist Association Annual General Assembly is this week. It begins on Thursday. It's fully virtual this year, and your ministers and I believe 6 or 7 delegates for this congregation will be attending and voting on the business of our denomination. We are going to host a watch party for the opening events in Fellowship Hall on Thursday afternoon, and we'll be live streaming the amazing service, the worship service, next Sunday. Next weekend is a busy one here because in addition to the GA activities, Sage Cafe will meet at 6:30 on June 21st, and there will be an all-ages sing-along on Saturday the 22nd, also beginning at 6:30. Both of those events are in Fellowship Hall. I invite you to read more details about these and our other events in the e-news, and feel free to share what's going on in your life on our Members and Friends Facebook page. Each Sunday, in recognition of our very real interdependence and reliance on each other, we collect an offering and share that offering with an organization doing the work of justice in the world. Our shared offering partner for June is Uniting Pride of Champaign County, one of the largest LGBTQ centers in Illinois outside of the Chicagoland area. We are honored to be able to partner with them throughout the year and to share our plate with them this month. You can give by text or through the online portal on our website. And if you're here in the sanctuary, when the basket is passed, you can make a check out to UUCUC or give cash. Remember, half of what you give today will go towards sustaining the operations of this church, and the other half will go directly to Uniting Pride. We invite you to give whatever is generous for you, and know that anything you contribute will be gratefully received and put to use, helping make a real impact in the communities to whom we are connected. Sorry, just checking everybody's in place. So we are going to sing together, How Could Anyone Ever Tell You? That is number 1053 in the teal hymnal while the offering is passed. Thank you all so much.
I'd like to share a passage from John Milton's epic poem, Paradise Lost. But first, for a tiny bit of context that I think makes it interesting and explains why I'm reading this specific passage today. Milton, the 17th century English poet who lived through the English Civil War, wrote his epic retelling of the fall of man from the Garden of Eden later in his life. But early in his life, Milton was something of a queer personality. During his college days, he was known as the Lady of Cambridge for his effeminate demeanor, and he was known to have some very intense relationships with his male classmates. And with that queer framing in mind, I would like to share this passage in which Adam, having spoken to the angel Raphael about his complex feelings towards Eve, asks Raphael whether angels experience love. And so this is Adam speaking to begin. To love thou blamest me not, for love thou sayest leads up to heaven, is both the way and guide. Bear with me then, if lawful what I ask. Love not the heavenly spirits, and how their love express they? By looks only? Or do they mix irradiance, virtual or immediate touch? To whom the angel, with a smile that glowed celestial rosy red, love's proper hue, answered, let it suffice thee that thou know'st us happy, and without love no happiness. Whatever pure thou in the body enjoy'st, and pure thou wert created, we enjoy in eminence, and obstacle find none of membrane, joint, or limb, exclusive bars, easier than air with air if spirits embrace. Total they mix, union of pure with pure, desiring, nor restrained conveyance, need is flesh to mix with flesh, or soul with soul.
Hi, I'm Alice, she, her. I'm also Dustin's partner, and Rune's partner, and Willow and Christine's metamorph. I'm very gay. I don't know When I was 18, I had a conversation with a seminarian about my recently having come out as bisexual and about my partner at the time, who was non-binary. I was on what's known as a vocational retreat, which is the first step for young Catholic men considering entering the priesthood. Since nobody, including me, had figured out that I was a woman, I was doing a better job of fitting in than I would have in a year's time, but I still felt alienated. I had gone to this retreat partially because the vision of the future I had been presented with felt like it had no room for me. It wasn't a feeling I could express at the time, but I knew it was real when I was told in no uncertain terms by both the seminarian and the priest in charge of the retreat that the only way forward was to forsake my queerness and abandon my then partner. Years later, I read a book called No Future by an academic called Lee Edelman about this exact feeling. The book is written in an extremely dense academic style, so for today, I'm just going to summarize the conclusions. And if you want to hear more post-Lacanian analysis from the pulpit, I legitimately have no idea where you go for that. Edelman argues that queer people are systemically denied their future, and that numerous aspects of our culture are built around denying the idea that queer people have always been around or that we will continue being queer for our entire lives. Looking around, it's easy to see examples of this if you know what to look for. On my vocational retreat, I was directed to a program called Courage International for men and women who experience same-sex attractions, the least inclusive phrase I have ever heard that was somehow designed to include me. The second of 5 goals begins to dedicate our entire lives to Christ. The current and ongoing wave of transphobic legislation often cites false narratives of transness as a predatory and invasive force that seeks to corrupt kids in order to continue existing, with the idea that we would somehow die out if we weren't allowed to do so. Much of the opposition to both the decriminalization of homosexuality in 2003 and the legalization of gay marriage in 2012 was centered on the idea that it was somehow staining the eternal legacy of an otherwise unchanging institution, despite the fact that that's very much not the case. And of course, every queer person has heard "it's just a phase" or words to that effect far too many times. The easy and extremely true response to this is to say that this church and this community gives us a future. It is a space where we are not only Thank you. It is a space where we are not only theoretically welcome, but where there is an active and ongoing effort to make sure that queer people are welcome and wanted here for their entire lives. But queer people aren't the only ones with uncertain futures in these times, and there are still 6 other days in a week. So I'd like to share some ways that not having a future can counterintuitively be a strength for queer people, but for anyone, regardless of gender or sexuality. No future means that we don't have the benefit or the luxury of saying, it'll be better eventually. Every time we organize, we agitate, or we celebrate Pride, we do so knowing that there are those of us who won't be here next time, and that we are called upon to demand a better present and not just vague promises. No future means that our history is lived and embodied rather than simply studied. We are not taught about our culture or our history, so it is on us to live it out, to treasure our conversations with our queer elders, and to make the past part of our present in everything from our activism to our slang to the shibboleths we use to identify ourselves. No future means that our communities are built around inclusivity and intersectionality. History has taught us many times that there is no subset of the queer community that will be acceptable to the bigots in charge, and no marginalized community that doesn't include queer people. Because of this, we must act as a coalition, not erasing our differences, but acting through our similarities in solidarity. There's a cliche, live each day like it's your last, and it's common enough to be a cliche, but it's never really resonated with me. Last days tends to conjure images of either the biblical apocalypse or rushing to meet deadlines. So I've never really felt like it embodies living in the moment. No future is a phrase that arose from the punk community and has been a source of solace for queers, punks, and queer punks like myself. And so I'd like to offer no future as an alternative, not as an abdication of our responsibility, but as an understanding that our plans and hopes for the future must begin in the present moment. Thank you.
Thank you, Alice. Thank you for sharing a part of your story with us. Thank you for inviting us in, not just to thinking of the future, but the present that we create that future in. Jade Kaiser, who is a queer theologian and writes for Infleshed, says this: when they talk about queerness, queer as in black, queer as in woman, queer as in disabled, queer as in fat, queer as in old, queer as in working class, queer as in indigenous, queer as in a placeholder word for something ancient and emerging, queer as in trans, queer as in Palestinian, queer as in Asian, queer as in immigrant, queer as in Jewish, queer as in a part of everyday people, every movement, every land this planet has known, because we are of the earth and we are all worthy of love and life and freedom. We celebrate a collective queerness that doesn't fit in, that doesn't know how to play games, that delights in gender wonders and strange loves, that mobilizes with and for each other. That, my dear ones, is what I mean by we have to queer our religion. We have to make space for the no future that exists here in the now and the present. Because Pride Month is celebratory, but at its heart, as I said earlier, it is an act of resistance, a resistance to the very forces that Alice named that say queer people, too many people, do not have a future, but we do. Futures that we collectively create here and now. And there is nothing more queer than that. There is nothing more queer than loving each other. Nothing more queer than showing up in the face of all the oppressions that we face with love, and to say that love and hope and joy are not only possible, but we claim them here and now as resistance. We claim them as acts of solidarity to create that future here and now where everybody thrives. I want to remind us that acts of joy are acts of resistance. Remind us that we are all of us on this tiny little planet floating in space. We are all of us in it together, because everything here, from our rocks and our water to our molecules and atoms to our breath and our very bones, everything is made of dust and memories of stars. We are dust and starlight. And there is nothing more queer or beautiful than claiming that. So this morning, I want to offer us a starlight, glittery blessing to remind us of who we are and who we are, our precious, beautiful lives, born of stardust, whole and loved. In a moment, we are going to sing our closing song, which is We'll Build a Land. That song is a prayer for the land that we will build when we queer our religion, when we queer our own thinking and feeling and being. And while we sing it, I want to invite you to come forward if you are moved to do so and receive a physical blessing to accompany the blessing words I will soon offer you. We have a palette of glitter in our chalice. What did I say? We'll build a land. No, we're going to sing Fire of Commitment and not We'll Build a Land. That's what I get for not reading my script and just thinking I remember. I know Sally was like, that's not what I was planning to sing. But we have a palette of glittery dust that Sally and I will offer as a blessing to you. We'll put it on your hand or your cheek, somewhere on your skin, to be a visible reminder that you are beautiful and whole, loving and loved. And if you prefer not to have some glittery eyeshadow anywhere on your body, which I totally understand, then I hope instead that you will still feel the words we offer to your very bones and carry them with you out into your day. And here is my blessing to us. You are an ordinary, wondrous miracle made of stardust. You are beautiful, you are whole, and you are loved. You are stardust, you are beautiful, you are whole, and you are loved. We are stardust, we are beautiful, we are whole, and we are loved. Receive this blessing with all the love that it is given, and let us sing Fire of Commitment. And Sally and I will offer you glitter if you would like it. Dear beautiful people, I promise to wash my hands before touching any of you again this morning. But we are all made of stardust, and that is a miracle that we are here in this space together, creating the futures people have told us we cannot have. So let us this morning go queerly, go freely, go belonging, and go in blessing, and be the light and the glitter that this hurting world needs. May it be so.